Hi, it's Delia Yeager. So glad that you're here. So in this episode, we're going to be talking a bit about stress. And stress is something that happens a lot in our culture these days, and a lot of people who come for sessions with me in the beginning, that's the thing that they're most aware of. It's either stress or anxiety. As getting in their way of achieving what they want to achieve, or finding peace, or having a better day. There's lots of aspects to stress. There's lots of avenues that kind of stress us out. There are lots of people, places, and things that cause us stress. And when there's also a lot of misinformation about stress. There's a lot of awareness that is misidentified as stress. So it's a big topic. But today we're just going to unpack a little bit of what is stress and what can you do about it. It's the what can you do about it that interests me the most. So when I just watched on YouTube or whatever, I just saw a video of Mikhail Baryshnikov. And I guess it wasn't a video, it was a meme of him. And the quote of him that they have there is about, I'll paraphrase it, it's about, don't worry about, your kick isn't high enough, or your whatever isn't whatever. I'm not a dancer, so I don't know the technical terms. But don't worry about the technical stuff. It's when you're communicating with an art form, which life and your body and everything is, then it's the flaws. It's the kinks in the system. It's the way your foot won't do that, but it does this thing instead. That's where the real communication or authenticity or artistry comes through. And that's true for everything. So there are, don't get me wrong, there are circumstances in community, areas, offices, positions that have a very low tolerance for people being people. And newsflash, that's very stressful on people. To be in an environment where your body shouldn't make any noises. My body tends to be very noisy. And so, like I blow my nose or I sneeze, and sometimes people look at me like, ooh, can't you do that quieter? Can't you go like in another room to do that? So the way our culture is these days, there are places that are more and less tolerant of bodies being bodies. And between Madison Avenue and advertising and social media, there is a lot of pressure for bodies or emotions, everything, emotions are part of bodies, even thoughts, which are part of body, they're all together, should be one way or should be another way. And if you work in an environment that has a low tolerance for bodies being bodies and for people being people, that will cause a lot of stress. The atmosphere in those situations, usually those environments, usually is, if you would just, if you would just do this or that, or if you would just get with the program, if you would just be a team player. There's, in other words, those environments will make you the problem. And those environments are actually very invested in making you the problem. I also I heard Lipton talking recently, what's his name, Lipton, Dr. Lipton, whatever, about the way, like the Matrix, he called the Matrix movie a documentary. which there is a way that that's true, and that all the algorithms and programs that are running us every day are actually set by the time we're 7. And they operate in this underconscious level. And so on the conscious level, we think we are thinking, we think that we know things, we think that we're acting on what we know, that we're being rational, or that we're being, whatever. But we also have experiences of, what's the phrase that's so common these days? Self-sabotage. And that whole notion comes from the man versus man, man versus himself, man versus nature. See, it's a competitive point of view that says that competition is always something is better than something else. It's not necessarily wrestling or scorekeeping, like a game where you're keeping score. But competition is always judging. It's always measuring who's more and who's less, or what's more and what's less. And the past 2,000 to 5,000 years of known culture which is the soup that we swim in, is all about keeping score and one-upmanship. And you don't even have to like sports for this to be true. But if you're in an environment that says that how you are, how your body is bad and wrong, which is in most traditional, conventional environments, then it's going to be hard on you. And you're going to be encouraged to take it personal. Okay, this is my problem with the situation. And the implication there is that the situation, the office, the corporate environment, the environment that you're in, the governmental, whatever your environment you're in, is clean and neutral and not biased at all. And we all know that that's not true. But that's the premise, this competitive premise that we're swimming in, that says that the environment is fine. If there's a problem, it's with you. So if you're not a white male, then you know the fallacy of this idea. Because if you are, if you have a period, then, blood and gore is great so long as it's in a movie, right? And some guy is doing it, right? But if you're a female, if you're a woman and you have your period, they don't want to know anything about it. Oh, she's on her period. Oh, she has PMS. So culturally, there's all of this heaping of shame and judgment on you and your female body as inconvenience to the organization. And so under conscious, subliminally, women's bodies from girlhood, from in utero, are laid over and over and over with just a phenomenal amount of judgment, conclusions, decisions, and just general crap. So this is very stressful. This is another case of how I am. I have a body, it makes noise, it moves, it needs to move. These are considered problems. And so this is the way the organizations are structured right now actually supports their end game, whatever their goals and mission statements are, satisfying the shareholders, or, making a better third quarter, or whatever whatever the goal is. And then the people are only in support of the goal, but the goal in the organization no longer supports the people. And because we don't address that and kind of admit that, then the people have been going with, okay, well, my body shouldn't need to move. I should be able to sit still longer. My concentration is at fault. All of this is very stressful for the body. And it feeds the inner critic that's always saying what's wrong with you and giving you grocery lists of what's wrong with you. So if you're in a situation that the words and deeds don't match up, the words in the mission statement of the corporation or the 501c or whatever it is that you're working for has to do with, something noble and glorious, but in practice, it's not a safe or comfortable environment for your body. That is going to set up stress right there, because you're going to have to decide, are you going to side with your body or are you going to side with the organization? And the way our culture is set up, since the organization is the one that pays you, we tend, and it's also like the outer authority, we tend to buy into that point of view and override our body, what our body's trying to tell us. So once that happens, the body feels not only unheard, but also invalidated. And that can set up not only a stressful situation, but it really interferes with your comfort level within yourself and how you could possibly be your best friend or on your side. So when you have this false setup that says that you have to be loyal to the outer authority or to yourself, and then you consistently choose the outer authority, then you feel neglected. You may, in your mind, you may say it's, well, usually what that does is it sets up a little pendulum, a little back and forth, like not a pendulum, a seesaw. So their fault, my fault, their fault, my fault. It's the system, it's me, it's the system, it's me. So it's always back and forth, but it's never in balance. The only solution that I ever have come up with is deciding to be on my side, flaws and all, and not knowing how to do it because I was trained to be outer focused. And it took, dedication, it took choice, it took a lot of choice, and it took daily choice, and it took hourly choice, and it took choosing to be on my side and choosing to find out what's true and right and real for me, and choosing to choose me first over the organization, even though I had no infrastructure for that yet. So the simplest forms of what to do about all of this, and there are really simple things that you can do starting where you are. It's that great Teddy Roosevelt thing about do all you can with what you have from where you are. So just imagine if you go out your door and you're standing on the sidewalk in front of where you live, and pick a direction, left or right, whatever. But if you put one foot in front of the other and you walk away from where you live, you will pass the next house and pass the next house and pass the next house. You will find yourself at the end of the block, right? If you do the steps, you will go there. You don't have to wish yourself there. You don't have to emote your way there. You don't have to emotionally pay for every step. It's simply you put one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, and you will be in a different spot. And that's kind of the key to this, is just like one foot in front of the other, it's repetition, right? So right now you already have a packed playlist of repeated thoughts. And some of them are so comfortable you don't even hear them. They've been playing for so long you have forgotten to even wonder if they're true or not. So what you can start doing today is on a notebook, just get a notebook and then write down, I choose to be on my side. And then fill a whole page with, I choose to be on my side. So you write it out and you say it to yourself. You write it out and you say it to yourself. I choose to be on my side. And then do that in the evening as well. Another great repetition to use is all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. And then write that down over and over again and repeat that, 10, 20 times in the morning, 10, 20 times at lunch, 10, 20 times when you go to bed. Just start repeating. Another one is maybe the universe is on my side. The universe is on my side. The universe is on my side. And fill a whole page with that. Use that one 10 or 20 times at lunch and, morning, lunch, and dinner. So you don't have to buy a new outfit. You don't have to buy into anything. It's an experiment, right? And as a creative being, you probably like experiments. And it's fun to see, well, if I do this, what will happen? And I recommend that you commit to doing this, say 20 times at a time, 3 times a day, for 3 days. 21 would be better, but start off with maybe 3 days. And notice what happens to the quality of your days. And if you like the 3-day, then go on for 7 days. And if you like that, go on for longer. But once you start choosing what you want to be true for you and what you want to believe in, then you'll start to notice that things change. It's really amazing. As if by magic, as if the universe was on your side. As if, the thing about all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. It doesn't mean that it's not inconvenient to get a flat tire or lose your job or all the different things that happen to us in the course of our lives. It does mean, okay, universe, higher self, whatever you want to call it, when good things or crappy things happen, I want to be able to deal with it differently than in the past. And ease, joy, and glory. And find out what that means for you. Glory might be a little too grand. It's the whole point of the word is that it's out of the bounds of just kind of managing your situation, and it's really stepping into having greater awareness, greater everything. And so you can play with the words, but stay with the energy of how do you want your life to be? Because out there, they're never gonna give you the green light. They're never gonna say you're right. They're never gonna agree to change, right? It doesn't matter why. It has nothing to do with you. It totally has nothing to do with you. So try the experiment. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. Or I choose to be on my side. or the universe is on my side. Pick one, pick all three, and then do each 20 times, morning, noon, and night. And just notice what kinds of things happen. Commit to a period of time, and then if you commit to that period of time and you forget a day, or you just find yourself not wanting to do it, that's fine. Just resume. You don't have to ding yourself. You don't have to make yourself wrong. This is new behavior. And the way we are trained right now, we tend to want to know what the results are going to be before we'll do anything. And I'm inviting you to do something different. I'm inviting you to do this and discover for yourself what kind of results it gives you. So I hope you have found some useful information in here today, and I really hope you try this experiment and have more ease, joy, and glory in your life, and be on your side more, and allow for life to be full of possibilities that you hadn't imagined yet. All right, so there we go. Thanks for listening. Bye.